Hi guys, I'm Chanchal at the studios of iScholar Education Private Limited at Bangalore. Here we have a J2EE lesson for you, and before we go for the J2EE lesson, let's talk about a little of what iScholar Education is. iScholar Education Services Private Limited is a world-class online education company with a mission to impart holistic education using the latest internet technology to be every knowledge seekers across the globe. It is an initiative of the national importance by the leading educationists, technologists, industry veterans and academicians. iScholar engages experts and the passionate teachers who teach from their state-of-the-art studios in Chennai and Bangalore, and the live classes are streamed using the interactive teleeducation delivery platform. So here we see how we go about it. Our disruptive business model allows us to take the best faculty to the classroom all over the world in a real-time, two-way interactive mode. We can solve a large extent the acute shortage of quality faculty, thereby helping to create exponential infrastructure growth in education sector. We can reduce the cost of the education to a fraction of the current cost, thereby making the quality education affordable and available to the rural and semi-urban student. So this is what the iScholar does. We are connecting the experts to the students, provide a cost-effective connect, help the students to achieve their objectives, and use the technology to enrich learners to make them globally competitive and employable. Today's topic is J2E. We'll learn about how to build a component-based enterprise web application using Java 2 Enterprise Edition. First of all, we'll learn about what are the application servers. Then we'll define what is J2EE, the main component of the J2EE, application scenarios, J2EE API and services. We have a closer look on EJB with few examples. So talking about the application server, when it was a beginning of computer programming language, we had our dumb terminals here and we have a mainframe. The terminals could not talk to the mainframe computers, and it was a centralized, not distributed. Then came the age of the distributed component, distributed programming, distributed component system, and we came to the age where we have application servers. The fact clients contains the business logic, the server contains the data. We call it the first tier and the second tier. The client sends the request to get the data, the server sends back the request to the data, and the business logic performs it. Now, today's enterprise applications use the multi-tier model. We have a different kind of client, the services and the server. We have two types of the server. The middle tier is a business logic server. We provide the services from here. The last server is a data server. We provide the data. So here you can see the thin client sends the data to the business logic. Some calculations, some logical calculations is being done at the middle tier, goes to the server, get the data, sends the response back, the response comes to the client displaces. So this is what the scenario in today's enterprise applications. We talk about the multi-tiered applications have the several independent components. An application server provides the infrastructure and services to run such an application. Application server product can be separated into three categories. We can talk about the J2E based products, solutions, non-J2E based solutions, PHP, ColdFusion, Perl and Extra, and the Microsoft solution, ASP.com, and now .NET with ASP.NET, VB.NET, C#, Extra. When we talk about the major J2E project, we have a BEA WebLogic, IBM WebSphere, Sun Planet Application Server, Oracle 9IAS, HP Bluestone, Total E Server, Boland App Server, JBoss, free open source. When we talk about the web server and application server, you can see how the internet browser, from the internet browser, the client sends the request. It goes to the HTTP secure form to the server catches the request and it sends to the app server processes the request and back the response to the client, and here this is the phenomenon, the things do work. So what is J2EE? It's a public specification that embodies several technologies. Current version is 1.3. And J2E defines a model for developing multi-tier web-based enterprise application with the distributed components. The benefits of J2E is high availability, scalability, integration with the existing system, freedom to choose the vendors of the application server, tool components, and multi-platform. The flexibility of the scenarios and support of the several types of clients, the programming productivity increases with the help of services, allow the developer to focus on the business. When we talk about the business logic, it is more the J2E part work. The services take care of the work. The other work has to be done from the client side. The components development facilities maintains and reuse. It enables the deploy time behaviors and supports the division of labor. Main technologies into the J2E are JSP, Servlet and EJB. Enterprise Java Bean, JSP, Servlet and EJB are application components. JSP is used to web page with the dynamic content, processes HTTP request non-blocking call and returns except HTML tags, special ESP tags and scriptlets of the Java codes. Servlet is used for the web pages with the dynamic content. It processes the HTTP request, non-blocking and call and to return. Written in Java, uses print statement to render the HTML. Loaded into memory once and then called many times. Provides API for the session management. On the other hand, EJB are the distributed components used to implement the business logic. Developer concentrate on the business logic, availability, scalability, security, interoperability and integrability handled by the J2E server. Client of the EJB can be JSP, servlets, other EJB and external applications. Client C interfaces. When we talk about the J2E multi-tier model, we can see the pictures how it works. We have a web page, we have a standalone application, we have a JSP and servlet sitting in the container. The request is going to JSP and servlet. It takes the help of the EJB container, talks to DBMS, ERP, mainframe, extra, and this complete the structure of J2EE application framework. When we talk about the J2E services and API, Java Message Services is another part of J2E services. JMS is nothing but it can implicitly invoked. It can set up a communication by loosely coupled, reliable and asynchronous system. It can support two models, point-to-point, publish and subscribe. When we talk about the point-to-point, you can see how it works. The point-to-point is there. You have a different type of the producers. The producers keep on sending the request from the queue. From this queue, the consumer can receive. And this you can see we can maintain a message queue. From the message queue we can actually get different messages and keep it sending it to the different consumers. This is what the point-to-point is. So there's a point producer, there's a point consumer. They talk to each other with the help of the queue. When we talk about the publish subscribes, you can see here we have a different producer. They publish and subscription. This subscriber, we don't call it as a consumer now, we call it as a subscriber. They subscribe this from the queue, a different request, and this is the way the things work. The another application under the J2E flag is JNDI, Java Naming Directory Interface. These are applications use JNDI to locate objects such as environment entities, EJBs, data sources, message queue. JNDI is an implementation independent. Underlying implementation varies, LDAP, DNS, DBMS, etc. We have another set of the technology which is called as a transaction service, controls transaction automatically. You can demarcate transaction explicitly, or you can specify a relationship between the methods that make up a single transaction. The security is another feature of J2EE, where the Java authentication and authorization services is the new J2E 1.3 standards for J2E security. Authentication is used via user ID password. The digital certificates is being done. There is a role-based authorization limits access to the users to resources and embedded security realm. JDBC, Java Mail, Java API and web services are another J2E services. And with that, we are going to conclude with our Java training session on J2E. Thank you for your time and be with us. We are going to launch few courses very soon on Java and the technologies, third, fifth generation technologies like Hadoop and big data. Thank you so much.